how do you deal with failure as an entrepreneur? Now, it's hard. That's the answer. It's hard because, especially now, we're living in a world where there's no failure on social media. That's the biggest challenge with being a young entrepreneur nowadays. There's no failure on social media. And in fact, there's only the 1% good that people are posting. So you're sort of going up against comparison of other people when nobody actually posts the stuff that they're failing at. Whereas if you read into people that have been in business for many years, they all talk about going through significant failures in the past. Now, when you're reading that, that can feel great because you're thinking, well, if they failed and I'm failing now, that's all part of the plan. And it is. But when you're in it, it feels a lot different. Now, there's minor failures and then there's major failures. The minor failures can be stuff like you making a mistake on a day. That's stuff that you can digest and handle. But when it's a major failure that's going to take months or years to reverse, it's heavy. It is heavy. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. It's really heavy. So, that would be my strongest lever to try and deal with it, is to look at people you're emulating and study their path and study what they've dealt with, because the chances are they've had a big failure at some point. Now, you've got to remind yourself that failure's not, oh, it's game over now. Failures is what's going to turn you into the next level of character. That's the challenge. The failure is given to you to test you onto the next level of where you can proceed to. Now, I've been in a situation this year where I've been working 7 days a week all the time, and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere just because there's been further restrictions with certain stuff in my life, and it's hard because I'm willing to work. I feel like I've got the knowledge to get out of this, but I've just been trapped in this situation. But it's difficult, and it's not going to be something that you can fix overnight all the time, depending on how big the failure is. However, the harder the failure, the stronger you're going to come out of it. So you've got to embrace these points, and you've got to be thankful for them, because if you're dealing with a major failure early in your life, then that's a lot better than later in your life, right? So, if you're in your early 20s and you've had a big hit and it slowed you down a lot, that's good. Because if you were dealing with that when you're 35, it's a little bit different. So, you've got to really maternalize the failure and really take responsibility and think about why it's happened, because ultimately it's happened because of you. You're the problem, you failed. But that's fine. It's learning, you're meant to learn. And the harder the situation you've got to deal with, the stronger you're going to come out on the other end. So, you've got to remind yourself it's not permanent. Everything can be fixed. And you've got to identify where you went wrong and really solidify a plan on how that doesn't repeat itself. Because if it repeats itself and you keep failing at the same thing, then it's an issue. That's an issue you've got to address. So with the failures, it's about really internalising them and then finding out where you fucked up, taking responsibility for it, learning from it, and it's going to unlock that next level of mindset that you have. So if you've had nothing but success in your business, which it seems like, and then you deal with a big failure, it can feel like, your self-confidence gets knocked, and you feel like you can never get out of it. But you've got to remind yourself, this is part of the game. This is where you're going to really level up your character. Now, everybody presents that they don't have failures, but those are the guys that I see as a massive red flag. Everybody fails. Everybody messes up. Some people mess up more. Sometimes you get a bigger loss. But you know what? When you experience stress or a loss at a certain level, then that's the motivation that you need to bounce back the same amount on the other side. Because if you've never failed at anything, you've not really felt how hard life can get, then you've not got that burning desire to take it to the next level. It's like these guys that are born into money and they've always got money. Yeah, you know, some of them get taught skills of how to make money and they've still got to work, but that drive and hunger is not statistically in those people on average, and that's something that cannot be bought. It's got to be done through experience. So, yeah, if you're dealing with a sticky situation right now, that's all part of the game. Everybody you look up to have been through similar things, so you want to be grateful that it's there, and you know you want to really understand where that's going to take your mindset and what experience that's giving you to get to the next level. So, you know, if you're in that failure, keep going, keep at it, learn from it, and that's going to unlock the next level of character. And later on, bring you things that, if the failure wasn't there, you'd have never seen. So with that, let's get it, yeah? This next video lined up is going to be a perfect watch for after this, so make sure you click down below. Till next time, let's go.